Hey everyone, my name's Courtney and I am exceptionally bored having been stood down from my job because of coronavirus, so I decided today that I would make a video about collecting model planes and go through the collection that I currently have. I have my little guy here. He's shivering because he's very cold. Oh, this is Oscar. Say hi. Oh. He likes giving kisses. Okay, so collecting model planes is a very niche hobby, I think. It can also get very expensive, especially if you're buying the higher end kind of manufactured models. The first thing to pick is, if you're going to start collecting, the first thing to pick is the scale that you want to collect. There's three scales. There's 1/200, which is one of the biggest, 1/400 and 1/500. I collect 1/400. I feel like it's a good balance between the size, so keeping them small enough that you have enough space for all the models, but also getting a lot of detail in the model. The 1/500 scale is quite good as well, but they're obviously a lot smaller. So some smaller details can get missed on those. The other thing to consider is what kind of criteria you want to collect. Some people just collect anything and everything that comes their way, which is a perfectly reasonable way to collect. For me, that doesn't work. I have to have a criteria because otherwise I would literally buy everything. So to curb my own spending and to save, I still live at home, so to save my parents' sanity, I have some criteria. There are a few exceptions, which you'll see when I show you my collection. First off, I think I will show you the ones that I have. Three models that are not in 1/400 scale, just because I've ended up with extras. They were gifts from people. So the first one I have is this AirAsia model. It's, as you can see, it's not a proper manufactured one. I think it's supposed to be an A320. It sits on this stand all the time. My granddad got this for me, and he actually passed away in January, so I keep this one out just because it was a sweet little gift. He apparently searched high and low for that one for me. The next one I have is this Turkish Airlines. I do believe this is a 1/500 scale. It doesn't have any landing gear though, which is why it lives on the stand. And it's an A330. I'm not sure if it's a 3 or a 2. But yeah, that's my little Turkish Airlines. I got that as a Christmas present from my colleagues at work. They apparently harassed the Turkish Airlines rep until we got a model. And the last one I have that doesn't really fit a scale is this. I don't know if you can see, that's probably reversed. The London 2012 Concorde. My friend bought this for me when she went to London in 2011, 2012. I can't remember when she went. But she saw this, and because I'm obsessed with the Olympics and planes, she was like, yeah, she has to have that one. So those are my three kind of non-collection, non-scale models. And then I have 15, I think it's 15, that are in my criteria, or in my scale, sorry. I'm gonna try and go through these in order of when I got them, but after the first 3 or 4 it gets a little bit fuzzy, so I can't guarantee it's going to be in the proper order. But yeah, and I'll just kind of run through the make, the airline, why I bought it, that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll start with this one because I know this one is 100% the first one I got. This is a Qantas Socceroos 747-400. So as you can see there, it's got the special livery. Now, I don't know if I say livery correctly. Livery, I don't know. I'm going to keep saying it like that. If it's wrong, it's wrong. This one has detachable gear, so you can actually take the gear out and replace them with these other little parts so that when you put it on the stand, because this one does have a stand, it looks like it's in flight. Now, this one is Dragon Wings. It's fine. It's a good model. I bought it at the Victorian Hobby Shop in Melbourne in 2011, in March. So I can tell you exactly where I was when I bought that one. As I said, it is Dragon Wings. I personally am not a fan of the Dragon Wings model because it has plastic wings. So some people do like the plastic wings. I was chatting to a friend of mine who also collects, and he really likes Dragon Wings. So it's up to personal preference. I just like the sturdier feel of metal wings, and you know, you're paying so much money for these models that I don't like plastic being included. But yeah, this is a really good model. Yeah, I don't have, some of these I actually will just say before I get too far ahead, some of these I don't know who they are, and the boxes are under my bed, so I can't, and it's not easy to get them out. So I won't know 100% what all the makes are, but I will do my best. Okay, the next one I got a couple of days later. So that one I bought when I was in Melbourne City, and this one I bought at the Avalon Air Show that same weekend. This is a Singapore Airlines Airbus A380, and this is Phoenix. So that's actually on the bottom of the plane. This one is really sturdy. The registration on this one is SKD. So some people mind about registrations. I have one that I bought purely because I had flown on it before. We'll get to those ones. But yeah, it's a really nice model. Phoenix make really good models, really sturdy. Yeah, it's not, I have another make of an A380 that is actually far heavier, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, as you can see, obviously the A380 is one of the biggest planes around, and it fits in the palm of my hand. So it's quite small. 1/400, quite small, but a great scale to collect, especially if you live at home like me and you don't have a lot of space. Okay, the next one I got, this is where it gets a little unclear, but I do believe that one of the next ones I got was this one. So yeah, I think it was this one. We'll just go with this one. This is an Emirates A340-500. Emirates don't actually fly this type anymore. I believe they did when I bought it, but it was right before they retired it. This is a Gemini Jets. Gemini are quite a good make. I used to kind of skew towards Phoenix when I was collecting at the beginning, but now most of my collection actually skews towards Gemini Jets. They have really good molds. As you can see, this looks like an A340. It's quite a sturdy model. The wings are metal. Yeah. And because I just realized I didn't go into this, my collecting criteria is airlines that fly in and out of Perth Airport in Western Australia, because that is my home airport. It's the airport I pass through the most. And for a small airport, which we are, I mean, we're not tiny, but we are small compared to Sydney and Melbourne. We do have a good range of international airlines passing through here, so I thought that would be a good place to start. And then if there's any others I want to collect, then I'll just collect them on the side. Okay, but the next one I got, which I got at the same time as the Emirates one, Emirates and this one here, I bought at City Models in Perth back when it was in Piccadilly Arcade. That shop doesn't actually exist anymore, but they were quite expensive. If you've never collected models before, like, just prepare yourself to pay a fortune because they are expensive. That Emirates one I think I paid like $90 for, but that's not even the most expensive one I've bought. I'll tell you which one it is. This is a Virgin Australia A330-200. Sorry, I'm filming this on my phone, so if I seem off to one side, it's because I'm holding it right in front of the phone. But this is one of the ones I don't know the make of. Because it's not on the aircraft, it could be something like Aero Classics or JC Wings, because Phoenix and Gemini are always on there somewhere. Could even be Dragon Wings, but the wings are metal, so it might not be Dragon Wings. yeah, sadly Virgin have gone bust, so I don't think we'll ever see this plane flying ever again. But it's a good little model. It's I have a 300 series of the A330, which I'll get to in a minute, and you can actually put them next to each other and you can see the difference in length between the two models, which is kind of cool. All right, I really should have a system for this because otherwise I'm going to lose track of all the ones I've already shown you. Okay, let me just move that. I can't remember where I got this one. I have a feeling it might have been the Avalon Air Show because I have 3 that I bought the following year. Sorry, not the following year, 2013, because it's biennial. I have a feeling this might be the 3rd one that I bought there, but I can't remember for sure. I could have bought this one online. I don't know the make of this one either. It's not on the aircraft. It's really, really sturdy. This is Air New Zealand Boeing 777-300 extended range. And this is in the All Blacks livery. So I am a sucker for special liveries. And I realise I just said livery a different way 2 times in a row. Just ignore me. I'm such a sucker for special paint jobs. I would say over half, not quite, but quite a few of mine are like special paint jobs, which is really cool. Some people only collect special liveries, which is a cool collection criteria, but I'm too much of a perfectionist and I have to have everything. But yeah, this is really, really sturdy. It's quite a heavy model, and you can see how big the 777 is. I realize this is a really terrible way to show. There we go. So you can see that right there. This is a sleek model. It's really nice. But yeah, like I said, I bought that in March 2013 at the air show with this one. I bought this thinking it was Jetstar Australia, and I didn't realise until like 2 years ago that it's actually not. It's Jetstar Asia. That's what I get for not reading. This one is JC Wings. It is tiny. It's like the size of my pinky finger. It's very cute. It's an A320. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one because, like I said, it's not Jetstar Australia, it's Jetstar Asia, and they don't actually fly to Perth. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But that was one of the 3 that I bought at the air show, and this was the last one that I bought at the air show in 2013. This is Phoenix. Ansett don't actually fly anymore, as most av nerds will know. But I bought this one because it has the Sydney Olympics livery, and I am an Olympics buff. So I had to get this one just on principle. But yeah, it's a great model. Phoenix make really nice 747s. It's quite heavy. It's really sturdy. The engines are well attached. It's got rolling gears, which some people care about. Yeah. Okay, my next 2 were definitely these ones. So this is a South African Airways A340-600. Sadly, South African Airways are in liquidation and will never fly again. So this has just become a historical aircraft, which is kind of sad. They're a little bit dusty. Yeah, this is Phoenix. I bought this one online from Aviation Centre Australia, and accidentally ordered it in 1/500 and had to send the 1/500 back for a 1/400, which, you know, happens. Make sure you check your scales and read things. But yeah, it's a good model again. As you can see, this is the longest model I have. It's, I think it's longer than my hand. Yeah, it's quite long. But yeah, really good. If you've ever seen one of these flying, the A340-600, it's kind of insane. This is the one I bought at the same time as the South African Airways. So I got this one from Aviation Centre Australia as well. I do not know the make of this one. It's not on the plane. But this is Air New Zealand. This is a historical one because they don't fly the 747 anymore. But this is the Airline to Middle Earth livery in their old tail. So now their livery is black and white. It used to be blue. Yeah, again, a great model. It's just one of the ones that I have. And then I got this one. Now this one I bought secondhand off of eBay. It is actually missing a nose gear wheel. I don't know if you can see that. But this is a Singapore Airlines A330-300. This is Sierra Tango Alpha. I have actually flown on this one, so I got a really good deal on it. And this is also Phoenix. So as you can see, a lot of them do skew towards Phoenix, but the last few that I have bought have been Gemini Jets. Yeah, again, good model. Phoenix is always a good bet. You kind of can't go wrong with them. Yeah, it's just, you just got to weigh it up, I guess. The next one I got, which was fairly recent, I only bought this one last year. And this one doesn't fly to Perth, but I bought it because it is so, so pretty. This is the Air Tahiti Nui Dreamliner, Boeing 787-9. And I mean, just look at that paint job. It's just stunning. This is Gemini Jets. I bought this online from Collectible Aircraft Wings Australia. They're a fantastic retailer, by the way. If you're getting started collecting in Australia, the two sites that I've mentioned are really, really good. They have a really good range. They sell most scales and most makes. So you can usually, between the two of them, if there's one that you're looking for in particular, you can usually find that. But yes, this is, fun little fact about this model is that it is registered F-Oscar November Uniform India, so Onui, and it is named Bora Bora, but the aircraft that is registered Onui in real life is actually named Tupaya. So I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if they just wanted to put Bora Bora on the model because it's, you know, the most famous place from Tahiti. But yeah, so the registration and the name on this aircraft don't actually line up, but I don't really mind because it's so pretty and I love it. It's one of my favorites. I have 3 Gemini Dreamliners. I'm about to show you the other 2. And they are a really, you know, I read reviews on them and people kind of were not fussed over the Gemini model for the Dreamliner, but it's a really good mold. I think it's really well done. So, and it's quite affordable as well. I didn't pay too much for any of my Dreamliners. So yeah, definitely something to consider if you're tossing up between Phoenix and Gemini. Gemini is quite good for the price. This I bought at the same time as the next one I'm about to show you. This is a Qatar A380-800. This is a Phoenix model again, even though it's not on the aircraft, I know for sure that one's Phoenix. This one's, funnily enough, is registered A7 Alpha Papa Echo, and APE flew into Perth on my birthday last year, so it's almost like fate that I was supposed to get this model. Yeah, it's a good A380 model again. Wings are metal. The only one that I have that are not metal wings is the Dragon wings, which, as I said, I'm not an overly big fan of. I do prefer the metal wings. The one I bought at the same time, now this is, I can't decide which one is my favorite of, between my 3 Dreamliners and my last A380, which I still have yet to show you. I don't know which one's my favorite. Air Tahiti, ow, I just stabbed myself. Air Tahiti is probably one of my favorites, but this one comes very close, or might even overtake it. This is a Gemini Jets. This is Emily. So this is Qantas's Dreamliner. Her name is Emily Kamakungwarai. The livery is named Yam Dreaming. So this is a painting that Emily did when she was alive. She has unfortunately passed on, so Qantas are honouring her with this. Emily flew the inaugural Perth-London flight on the 25th of March 2018. So it was quite special, I think, to have this one fly into London as the first non-stop from Australia. Yeah, again, Gemini Jets, great model for the Dreamliner. I really love it. This is the next one I got. Now, this is another A380. This is Nancy Bird Walton. So she's the first A380 that Qantas ever got. Her registration is Oscar Quebec Alpha. She was the perpetrator of QF32, if you know what that was. Basically, she took off from Singapore in November 2010, and her left inboard engines, this one here, had an uncontained engine failure. The turbine disc exploded, it ejected from the engine, and it shredded everything in its path. It was amazing that the captain was able to land her safely and saved everyone on board. I have flown on Nancy, even knowing that story. I flew on her quite happily in 2018. So she was my first A380 flight. I do have an A380 tattoo on my wrist. A380 is my favorite plane. Yeah, so very special. I had to have a model of Nancy. She's the one I paid the most for. I bought her off eBay from some seller in America, and I paid $120 for her. So if you're looking for specific models like I do sometimes, you will probably pay a little bit more, just because they can be harder to hunt down. But the last thing I'm going to say about her is she is a Gemini Jets model, not a Phoenix. On the outside, the models are very, very similar. The molds. The Gemini Jets one is far heavier than the Phoenix models. It's got a considerable amount of weight to it, which I actually like. It makes it feel really sturdy. She has a stand. She lives on the stand. And the last one I have, I do have one more coming, but I'm not sure when, and I was too eager to make this video, so I didn't want to wait for it. The last one I have is the Qantas 100 years. So if you don't know, Qantas are the third oldest airline in the world, and this year they are celebrating their 100th anniversary. So they started operations in November 1920. They have had a lot of history over the years. They've had a lot of livery changes. They have every logo that has been on a Qantas aircraft is on this aircraft. This aircraft is also named Longreach. And that is where Qantas started, in Longreach in Queensland. And Longreach was also the name that they had on all of their 747s. So the 747s all had two names. They had their individual name and they had their fleet name, which was Longreach. So they have, because they've now retired the 747s, which is very, very sad and wasn't supposed to happen till the end of this year, the Qantas 100 aircraft now carries the name Longreach. And they have named this one, I've also named this one the Qantas Time Capsule towards 2120. So hopefully they will still be flying at that time. They do have a lot of history. They have the best safety record in the world since the introduction of jet aircraft. They've never had a fatality. They've had a lot of incidents, but it says a lot about their pilots that they've never had a crash where someone has lost a life. So that is my entire fleet, or my collection. The one that I am waiting on is a Gemini Jets Qantas Link Boeing 717. It's not going to be much bigger. It's probably going to be smaller than this one. So yeah, excited for that one. I do know that I'm getting another one. My birthday is in a few weeks, and one of my friends let me pick a plane. So I'm also getting a Thai Airways A350-900, which I'm very excited about because I don't have an A350 model yet, and I don't have a Thai model. So yeah, I have quite an array of airlines. Yeah, I'm trying to get special liveries. I'm trying to get like the current fleet, so one of each aircraft that an airline operates. So with Qantas, I have one historical now because they don't operate the 747 anymore. But I have the A380 and the Dreamliner. I will end up with 3 Qantas Dreamliners because I have to get one in the original livery as well. But yeah, that's kind of how my collection is working. It's a bit all over the place because I kind of just see things that I like and I buy them. So I'm not really going, okay, like I've got to get Qantas and then I've got to get this. Yeah, it's good fun. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? But they're pretty, they're fun. It's something to keep me entertained. But yeah, so if you're starting collecting, you need to consider how much space you have, you need to consider the scale that you're going to collect in, and you also just need to consider where you're going to buy them. Most cities do have shops where you can go and buy them. Obviously Perth had city models, but we don't have that anymore. But the actual shops, like physical shops, are going to be harder to find. You're better to buy online. So in Australia, that is Collectible Aircraft Wings Australia. I highly recommend these guys. I messaged them asking for the Qatar A380 because I was dying to have this Qatar A380, and they had one, they were getting stock in. They put one aside for me and they held onto it until I was ready to buy it, which was probably another 6 weeks after I sent that message. So they were really, really fantastic. I've never had any problems with anything they've sent me. I have bought the Qatar, the Air Tahiti, Qantas, Emily, and no, I didn't get that one. So those 3 I've bought from them. They came really fast, they were well packed, there was no damage to the boxes, so yeah, fantastic, can't recommend them enough. And Aviation Centre Australia are also really good. I hadn't bought from them in a while since I bought the Air New Zealand and the South African. But I did buy the Qantas 100 from them because I was having trouble getting it on Collectible Aircraft Wings. And they were fantastic. Again, it came really fast. It was packed really well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend either of those websites if you're getting started. That's about it, I think. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope that was kind of interesting for you. And happy collecting.